In this lecture, I'll give you a quick tour through the data editors. And at the top right here, we've got the outliner editor. Now, this gives you a list of all the data in your scene. So here you can quickly search for and select objects in your scene just by clicking on them in the list here. And this is especially useful when you have complex scenes where you might lose track of objects just because you have so many of them. And here you can also organize things into collections. And the best part about that is you can work with one collection at a time while the others remain hidden if you want to. This is also useful for complex scenes where you might have too many things in the way and you just want to kind of isolate one collection of them. Now, for those of you who have used previous versions of Blender, you'll notice there's no longer layers to organize all of your objects. That's because in Blender 2.8 we now have collections and this replaces layers. And you can do a lot more with this editor as well, and we'll be going over it all more in the next section. Now, below the outliner down here we have the properties editor. And in this editor is a ton of different properties and tools, and here you can do things like change your render settings, you can change your world settings here, you can add modifiers and materials to your objects, and you can even add physics and particle systems and a lot more. We'll be going through all these options in these tabs throughout the course as they're needed. Now, the next data editor is the file browser, and we don't actually have to load this into an area. This actually opens up anytime you, for example, press Ctrl and O to open up a file. This is the file browser. Or press Ctrl Alt and S to save a file. And it also opens up anytime you do things like import or export models and things like that. Then lastly, we have the Preferences editor, which can also be opened up from the Edit menu right here and going down to Preferences. And this editor contains tons of different options for customizing the software to your liking, including changing the hotkeys and also changing colors of the interface and other things about the interface. For example, we can change the color of the grid if we wanted to, and so on. And there's tons of different things that you can change through the user preferences here. And we'll actually be going through the user preference stuff more in the next section. But for now, that's going to do it for this quick tour through the data editors, so I'll see you in the next lecture.